Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Choose from 180,000 titles from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Welcome to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
We rant about movies and drink while we do it. Today we'll be ranting about what we've been watching, with maybe some news thrown in there, followed by our in-depth review of Thor Ragnarok, the new film by Marvel Studios. If you like what you hear, remember you can find other episodes of our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube. And please consider giving us a rating on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Tonight, I am drinking Einstok. It's an Icelandic Arctic Pale Ale. It's got like a little Viking guy on it.
Very nice.
With
very
some
nice.
axes. Yeah, I thought it was appropriate for our little Thor review.
Yeah.
What are you drinking, Zach?
I am drinking Deep Space Double IPA from Half Acre. And
Very nice.
It's got a nice space on it and the image of a bearded boy and two dogs. And yeah, just, was looking around for something that would fit the bill for Thor. And not a lot of beers with hammers in the name. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? If we can bind our two beers, it'd be the perfect one.
Yeah, it's true. Very nice.
You know? Viking plus space.
Just a delight.
Let's give it a little sip.
Get a sip going. Very nice. How's the Icelandic?
The Arctic Pale Ale?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I made sure that it was like super cold because
Nice.
for this, but yeah, it's good. It's nice, nice and tasty. It's got like real smooth quality to it.
Hell yeah.
Just a real good, simple beer, really.
Nice.
How's yours?
It's good. I was a little worried when it was a double IPA. I'm not a big IPA boy, but yeah, it's really nice actually. It's not too bitter, more bitter on the finish, and kind of thicker than I was expecting, and it's a pretty tasty treat.
Interesting. Very good. All right. So before we get into our watch lists, just wanted to mention something real quick. And that is, have you heard about this new Amazon series based on Lord of the Rings? Have you heard about this?
Oh, yeah, I have.
What do you think about that?
I think that it just seems like a weird choice. I mean, it seems like a choice that they would make because it's a property that's popular that people would watch.
Yeah.
But a weird choice in that, like, out of all the properties, I feel like obviously there's stuff that's like not in the Lord of the Rings movies, but there's a lot in the extended editions, and I feel like it's like a pretty cohesive and pretty representative of the story. So unless they're doing something different with it, like stylistically,
I think what they're gonna do is they're pulling stuff from like the Silmarillion.
Oh, okay.
Like the prequel
that makes
stuff.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. On one hand, I think it's kind of a cool idea just because I like Lord of the Rings and I'll probably watch it no matter what.
Mm.
And I like that maybe as a TV series we'll be able to have like more time to tell the story.
Yeah.
Maybe like really breathe out the characters. But also on the other hand, I'm with you saying like it feels like a property they just like kind of drew because they knew it'd make money,
Yeah.
It's like they need their own kind of Game of Thrones, and instead of doing like their own original fantasy series, they're just filling in the hole with something that's been trodden many times. It's a well-known world, and I don't know. Maybe just I'd rather have something new.
Yeah, totally. And like, I don't know, it's also a thing like, so they're taking stuff from Silmarillion, but so is it going to be like the narrative of Lord of the Rings with that stuff intermixed, or is that like primarily what it is and it's called Lord of the Rings because it's a prequel to it? Like, is it,
I'm not even sure.
Like, is it going to be, are they stylistically going to try to fit the movies? Or is it, because, like, I don't know if on one hand, like, yeah, I see the appeal of it being longer and, like, filling it out more, but, like, how many is, like, each movie or each book a season? Or, like, is it one whole thing? Because if that's the case, it's like the movies are just as long. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a difference.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
It just seems like it
weird.
just seems weird. Yeah, I don't really.
It's like they're obviously not gonna have the same cast, but they're gonna have the same. You know, they're gonna have to have some of the same characters. You know, so it's like, okay.
So like, yeah.
Go ahead.
If it's gonna be, I guess it's like better if it's not part of the same like universe of that telling of it. But then also it's like, I don't really care to see it again. I don't know. They did it like, it's not something that I like look back on and like, you know what, if they could improve this.
Yeah, they
like,
don't
I don't know,
to.
like it's a really good version of Lord of the Rings, like, you know.
Yeah. The movies are great. Like, just leave them alone. Plus it's like hasn't been that long. It's been like what, 12 years or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hobbit movies, I wasn't a big fan of those.
Yeah,
honestly.
and I don't think they did very well either. So it's like, what are they betting on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would rather them make a Hobbit series. You know?
Yeah.
Even though that's more recent, it's like there are things to be improved. So,
you know, I would rather them just do, you know, like a whole new like cast of characters that are just like made up in the same world, you know, like
totally.
in Middle Earth,
like
different hobbits, different elves, you know, just like different characters in that world. You know, there's plenty of mythology to pull from.
Yeah, totally.
Which actually leads into the next topic. It's a great segue of Star Wars. Have you heard about the new Star Wars series?
Yeah, new trilogy.
Dude, I think this is kind of like what we want, right?
Yeah.
Brand new characters, whole different side of the galaxy we've never even seen before. No Luke Skywalker involved, no Skywalkers at all. Like, all new characters, clean slate, Rian Johnson. Sounds pretty awesome. I'm excited.
Totally. It's, I'm just worried, like, is it going to be a thing? Because it's like, that's what they said about the spinoffs. And it's like every spinoff that is going at this point is like is completely related. You know what I mean? So it's going to be like, it's not related, it's completely different, but then somehow it's going to end up, you know what I mean? Which I guess isn't the worst thing, but it also is just, it's interesting looking at it from a perspective of like the whole series, because then what is it going to be? Is it going to be like episode 10, 11, 12? Because then it's not really an episode of the saga of like all the rest of them.
No, I don't think it'll be episode anything. I think it'll just be like Star Wars, The Quest of Someone, Part 1, you know, or something like that. Or it'll just be Star Wars with a whole new title. And it might just be like Star Wars, just an original title, no 1, 2, or 3. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
I mean, in terms of Star Wars movies, I'm very excited. And
that's what I want out of like all this extended, you know, like we have this chance to have all these movies basically for the rest of our lives. Like, let's get new characters, there's so much to explore. You know? Totally. And it's definitely good for Star Wars that it's Rian Johnson. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like I would love to see 3 original Rian Johnson movies at the same time. It's like he's going to be out of the game for a long time. You know what I mean? But that being said, cool. It's like, I don't know, I'd rather... It's kind of like Peter Jackson with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
He was in that world for like forever. So, you know, maybe it's good to kind of have a singular vision, depending on like what he has in mind. They clearly have a lot of confidence in him because Last Jedi isn't even out yet. And like even Kathleen Kennedy was like, it's been an honor to work with him. It's like been one of the biggest delights of my career to see him work and to create this story from nothing. Like, so here you go. Here's a whole trilogy. So it's like, dang, I hope. What if The Last Jedi is like the best Star Wars movie? What if that's the best one?
Honestly, it would be completely shocking to me. But
it'd be amazing though.
Yeah, then we would be in for quite the treat because it'd be fucking incredible. Like,
yeah.
It's like I highly doubt it, but at the same time, it's like if that happened, I'm not fucking complaining. Like,
I think it has a shot of being the best after the original trilogy. You know what I mean? So like, it could be better than Force Awakens, better than Rogue One.
I think it probably will be, at least hopefully.
Probably. I hope so. All right, moving on. Let's go to our watch lists.
All right, I watched a couple things. I watched Certain Women. Finally, about damn
Finally
time.
caught it, man.
Got that.
Did you catch it on the crit?
Got that crit. Picking up
Oh,
the crit.
buddy.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
It's so good.
I gotta check it out.
All the performances are great. Structure's cool. It's just like 3 stories, and it's like, all right, it's just 3 stories. There you go. It's just like it's just a nice movie. It's just a nice movie. I was gonna lead somewhere else with that, but it's like not something you see very often. It's like a movie that's just about like 3 different people. It's like, yeah, these are the stories of these people. There you go. It's refreshing.
Are they connected in any way?
Not really. No, it's just like
just 3 separate stories, completely different.
Well, there's you'll see there's a thread or 2, but for the most part, it's just like there's a story about a character, and then at some point it just cuts to the new person. It's like, all right, what's this person doing?
Nice.
Which is cool. All about that.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
Worth buying that. Sorry.
Oh,
keep
yeah.
going.
No, definitely worth picking up that crit, I would say.
Nice.
Very, very happy I own it. And, yeah, she's awesome. Joy Reichardt's the best. And, yeah, looks amazing. Really good pacing, good performances. Yeah.
You said the cinematography was good?
Oh, it looks so good. It looks amazing.
Ooh. Wow. Nice.
Yeah. It's just a pretty movie. Just looks so good.
I didn't expect that. I just kind of thought it'd be kind of a more straightforward indie type of film.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's not showy at all. It's definitely very subdued. But I'm just eating that shit up. Some fucking killer wides in there, you know, some nice landscapes. Got some nice texture, some film texture on there.
Love it.
It's a fantastic movie. You should definitely check it out.
Damn, I'm gonna have to buy it. Maybe I'll hit up that
sale, boy.
Barnes and Noble sale. Yeah,
man.
got that Barnes and Noble sale.
Have you gotten anything yet?
Not from the Barnes and Noble one. No.
I got you.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
are you? What do you got on the list? You heading there? You gonna go pick some stuff up?
I don't know. I've just been busy. I wasn't like planning on hitting up the sale this time.
Yeah.
But there's some good stuff out.
Yeah.
That I definitely want. So
I wasn't either, but like sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet. Just do what's right. You know what I mean?
Well, you already convinced me, so I guess I'm going.
Yeah, I gotta get that Twin Peaks. Gotta get it.
I picked that up. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah.
Nice. I really am like so curious to see that missing pieces thing. So much that I've probably built it up too much in my mind. But yeah. I don't have that. I know it was in that Blu-ray set, but I never got the Blu-ray set because I owned Fire Walk with Me on Blu-ray, but it was it's like some Japanese copy or something, so it doesn't look very good. But yeah. So I basically put off buying that because I already own Fire Walk with Me, and now I'm just chomping at the bit to get that fucking new Fire Walk with Me.
I bet it looks amazing.
Oh yeah, it probably looks fantastic.
I gotta pop it in.
Yeah, man. How's that packaging? It's sitting pretty? Look nice?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like anything super extraordinary that they've made before, but yeah, gets the job done.
Also got to get that Barry Lyndon. Must get Barry Lyndon.
I have Barry Lyndon on Blu-ray, and I still haven't watched. I've had it for. I have it a part of as my Stanley Kubrick collection.
Have you seen it before?
No,
Dude,
it's like
get on it, bud.
it's like the one film I haven't caught by him, and
It
I know
is amazing. So fucking good.
Is it? I've heard it's just like super slow and dull.
Oh, I mean, it's very slow, but it's fucking amazing. I love it.
Is it amazing?
Yeah. Did I ever tell you,
man.
Did I ever tell you about that screening of it I went to, like the private screening?
No.
This is a weird segue, but it's kind of funny. My old boss at my old job somehow met this guy from his previous job that like designs home theaters. So I guess he like designed like the Wachowskis' like personal home theater, and he's like all about like film preservation and like projecting film and stuff. And
Amazing.
He invited my boss to come to his personal private theater to watch a print of Barry Lyndon that he just had, like that he got
So
like in the mail
good.
or something. So he was like, "Do you guys want to
So
come?"
good.
And it was on New Year's Eve. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. And it was like New Year's Eve going to watch Barry Lyndon at like, I think it started at like 10 o'clock or something. You know,
Oh my God.
like, it was hysterical. So, but I was like, of course, you know, I was like, I'm totally going to come. But it was just
That's incredible.
Weirdest experience, just like at this like very like extremely nice home theater, like showing a film print of Barry Lyndon with like 20 people there. There was like a fireplace going, and then like the movie
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, the movie ended at like 12:45, and everyone's just like, "Happy New Year, everyone."
So you missed the midnight kind of
yeah, it was like right in the middle of the movie.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny. Super goofy.
It's almost like you had your own experience from Eyes Wide Shut or something.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, that was a very, very interesting, good night. It was very funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you got to check
Anyway.
out. You know what you should do, Wes? Next time you're just sitting at home, you go, I got nothing to do. Get in your car, pop over to B&N, walk in, pick up that Barry Lyndon, come home, pop it in immediately. Just fucking watch that shit.
Just shove it right in there
Just
right
fucking
away.
shove it right in that tray. Open it as you're walking up the stairs. Get the disc ready when you come in, and just go right into the player. Just right in.
I got a nice Blu-ray already, so I think I just might have to pop that in first.
I think you should pop in that crib. That transfer is going to be way better, bud. It's going to be way
It's true.
better.
It would be way better.
Apparently, there's a bunch of really cool bonus features and stuff, too, that they, like, commissioned.
Oh, I'm
for it,
sure.
So,
I'm sure, yeah.
just saying. Just saying. You should check out Barry.
All right. What else did you have on your list? Speaking of Criterions.
Yeah, I watched The Lure, also picked up from
No.
Criterion.
Been really considering picking that one up too, man.
Yeah, it was good. I definitely liked it. I did not love it, but
Okay.
it's definitely fun. I don't know if I would recommend the blind buy for it. I'm not disappointed that I have it, but
I understand.
It didn't like wow me. Basically, I thought I was really liking it a lot, and just the third act kind of lost me. It kind of got a little,
Yeah.
just ran out of steam a little bit. But the stuff that's good is really good, and the songs that are in it are a lot of fun. There's some that are like kind of like tongue-in-cheek musically stuff that are kind of funny, but also the rest of the movie has like such a style to it that maybe I would have preferred if it just like kept to that more.
Yeah.
But yeah, the songs are really cool. It's all like cool synth pop, like musical stuff, and
Right.
performances are pretty good, and the effects are cool of the mermaids. The design of the mermaids is cool. Looks good, and yeah, it's a fun movie. It's good. I would definitely watch it. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
you know, I think your priorities are better set somewhere else for the sale, but worth a watch for sure.
I definitely want to check it out for sure. That's The Lure. That's French or what
Polish, I
language?
think.
Polish. Yeah, that's right. It's a musical.
Polish mermaid musical. with synth music. Pretty specific.
Yes. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. It's good. It's good for sure.
Nice.
What else did I watch? I watched did a rewatch of Texas Chainsaw 2 just in time for Halloween.
Little rewatch. How was the second? I've never seen the second. It's another horror series I've only seen the first one of.
I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah?
And it's not necessarily as good as the first one, but if I'm popping one in, that's the one I'm popping in. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. There's like it's a cool soundtrack. There's lots of good, it's like one of the characters is a host at like a radio station. So there's a lot of like cool music in it, and it's just like super outrageous. Like I read something where he was like, I already made Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, what am I gonna do with 2? That, you know what I mean? So he just kind of took it in a different direction completely, and I think the movie's much better that way. You know, like I don't need to see. Because I think that's why a lot of these new ones are failing. They're just the fucking same exact thing. Especially after the reboot, they all look exactly the same, too. It's like desaturated, green tinted, super gross, and I don't know. It's just like, there's something so fun about the second one that just doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's really colorful. And
same director, Tobe Hooper?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just a fucking good time, and Dennis Hopper's in it, and he's really good.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, he's like a Texas Ranger that's like hunting them down.
That's amazing.
There's the best scene in the whole movie is this scene where he goes to buy chainsaws. He like goes into a chainsaw store, and he's like testing out these chainsaws. I don't know how to describe it, but there's just something so funny about it, and it's just fantastic. It's a really fun movie. It's good.
Awesome. Gotta check it out.
Yeah, it gets more into like the family, and like there's this whole thing about like them winning this award for like best chili in Texas or whatever. But like, what's the secret? He's like, prime cuts of meat. You know, it's just like totally everyone eating people. It's just like, I don't know. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and for the first one most certainly did, and that I think that's a strength of it. You know what I mean? But
for sure.
It's just refreshing to see someone do something so different with a sequel, which I guess we'll also get into a little bit later. I guess it's a kind of a fitting comparison to tonight's review. You know?
You're right. And
then, did I have another one? What else did
I have? Yeah, you had the big one.
Oh, yeah. Killing of a Sacred Deer. Saw that.
Dying to see this.
So, I'll preface this with, a little sleepy when I saw it. You know, the end, I was
little late.
Fighting sleep pretty hard, which is another running theme.
I hate that.
Because I'll bring that up a little later when we're talking about Thor Ragnarok. But,
oh, no.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was the night after, that screening that we threw, and I just got fucking plastered that night, and then had to work the next morning early, and just like was forcing going to see it. I was like, this is my only chance to go see Killing of a Sacred Deer. I've got to do it. It's just like, maybe just shouldn't have and saved it for later, you know.
But your body's like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's just like the theater. The thing is, the theater was too warm. It was too warm. I was sitting there, and I was just like so snugly, and it's at this the Logan Theater in Chicago. It's pretty close to my apartment.
Yeah, and, I went to that one, I think, didn't I?
I think we went to Landmark when you were here.
Okay.
That was the one in the mall, right, where you like walk up?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Landmark. Logan's
maybe I've heard you talk about Logan, though.
Yeah, I've definitely seen movies for the cast there. But their screens are high, and their seats go back a lot. So I'm essentially just like laying down in this like very warm room. Like way
so
too
comfortable.
Warm. Yeah, just like way too comfy, and it's just like, yeah, that's it. It's a very slow movie. It's very quiet. It is by no means a result of watching the movie that I fell asleep. But
so what'd you think of it?
It was really good. I don't know if I liked it as much as The Lobster on a first watch, but I also think it's a more challenging movie than The Lobster.
Sure.
It doesn't have. I feel like The Lobster, for his style, had more humor than his other movies. Obviously, it's like definitely wackier.
Oh yeah.
And I think that like that offsets his sort of like super extreme violence and disturbing scenes in a nice way, that it kind of like lightens everything. Like that scene in The Lobster where the woman like falls out of the window and they're talking about her screaming is like the most horrible thing that you could like ever see.
It's horrible.
Yeah, but like it's so funny, and to make like people like my parents like The Lobster, you know, and it's like to make them laugh at and me laugh at something like that that's that horrible, like is hard, I guess. And with this movie, it's definitely funny, and there's definitely stuff in it that I was like really laughing at quite a bit. But I mean, just the premise is so much more dark and disturbing.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and I didn't really know anything about it going in, except for Colin Farrell was in it, and that kid was gonna be
Dunkirk.
Yeah, Dunkirk boy was gonna be a fucking weirdo. But yeah, it's really, really good. Visually, I think it might be his best movie.
Really?
Yeah, the visuals I really, really enjoyed. The cinematography was fantastic. Lots of really interesting shots of him in the hospital, just like walking, like really, really wide lenses, far back, high up, like almost at the ceiling, and it's just very strange and puts you in a weird space. And also just the way that they shoot the city, I don't know where it was shot, but just has a really it's like subtly surreal in a way that I don't exactly know how they pulled off sometimes, which is always intriguing. I think he's just really good at building like a world almost immediately, but with no like hard like fingers that point to anything, except for obviously the like dialogue and performance is definitely delivered in a specific way.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I definitely really enjoyed it. It's probably his most bleak movie that I've seen, and that I think is a good thing, but also results in something that's not like as immediately likable as something like The Lobster.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still like thought it was amazing, and am totally gonna, you know, buy it immediately and watch it again. Potentially see it again in theaters.
Nice, man. That's The Killing of a Sacred Deer. That I can't wait to see that movie.
Dude, isn't it playing over there?
No.
You sure about
it's not
that?
yet.
You sure about that one?
Yeah, I checked today actually.
I thought I looked and it was.
It's not playing in any major theater in Orlando. There's places in Florida.
What about the Winter Park Village Stadium 20?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dude, it's playing there.
It's playing there?
Yeah, bro.
What?
I can go see that shit, dude.
I might have to pop in on Friday and check that out.
Yeah, man. 100% worth going to see. 100%.
Oh, I know. I just didn't know it was playing, so thanks for finding that.
Yeah.
Before we go to my list, you want to talk about your little screening there, bud? I meant to talk about this earlier, but do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Tell the audience what you had.
We finished our second feature. I guess it's like 95% finished. But yeah, I had a little cast and crew screening. Not a premiere, but just like the people who worked on the movie and some friends who helped out and whatever.
Sure.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely the best the movie had played for me, which is nice, seeing it on a big screen and stuff.
Yeah. So you guys rented out a theater and everything.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it, right?
Totally.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun, and yeah, we made our money back just on like ticket sales for people coming.
It's awesome,
which is pretty sweet. And yeah, it was just a real good time. You know, it was affirming. Been working on it for a long time and kind of got lost in it there for a bit. And
yeah,
it's nice to be able to, you know, watch it with the audience for the first time. But I would also say that it's seeing it that much and being immersed in it that much, I just was like desensitized to how weird that it is. And watching
Sure.
it with an audience was like, oh man, like this thing's fucking weird. Like just like certain things just like falling flat, just like dead silence. No, it's like, oh shit. Like this is a very weird movie. Like, but yeah, so I'll definitely be keeping everyone posted and plugging any screenings that we have coming up. We're submitting to a bunch of festivals right now, so hopefully
amazing. Please do.
Makes its way around the good old U.S. and other places, hopefully.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah, dude. Get a screening in Florida. That'd be sick, bro.
That'd be sick, bro. Dude, that'd be amazing. So did you guys have a little Q&A or anything after? Or you just kind of...
No.
Since it was all, like, crew, basically, and friends.
Yeah, and, like, family and stuff. Nick, the lead actor, a lot of his family came. And that, for me, at least, that was, like... one of the more primary things, just to have, like, you know,
yeah,
because no one had really seen it, you know, like with Meathead. I feel like we showed it to a lot of people before.
Sure.
And, yeah, this one no one had really seen it that worked on it, but yeah, it was. I feel like
awesome,
I was going somewhere with that, but I lost it. So whatever.
Well, congrats, dude. That's really
Thanks,
cool. I'm glad you guys got it done, and
I am too.
Hopefully get into some, hopefully get into some festivals.
Yeah, fingers crossed, you know. What you been watching there, Wesley?
So for a couple weeks, I was like hammering out movies, man. But I'm gonna name just a few. Most recent being, I watched Your Name.
Mm-hmm.
It's an anime film.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it though.
I just heard so much praise about it. People are saying like one of the best films of 2017. Actually 2016, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like heard so much about it, and I'm not actually like a big anime guy. I don't watch a lot of anime. I haven't in years. I used to when I was younger. I was really into it, but not so much anymore. But I decided to blind buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get anywhere else, so I just bought the Blu-ray. It took a while to get here and popped it in, and I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. For one, let me just say the animation is incredible. Mm-hmm. Like it's really incredible animation. So I'll give it that. But I just thought the story was a little cheesy. It was I don't know. It didn't quite click for me or connect for me on a level that I kind of expected. So in that sense, I was a little disappointed. But maybe just I'm not as big into anime, so maybe that's just why. But it's about these this guy and this girl who start to have these dreams, but they're actually switching bodies.
Oh.
The concept itself is kind of cool, but they like switch bodies, and they slowly discover that these dreams are them living in this other person's body, and they figure out who each other is, and they start to like leave each other messages when they switch. This just seems to happen randomly.
Uh-huh.
And they finally like find each other, and it's kind of like really romantic, and it kind of centers around this meteor that hits the town. So in that sense, it's kind of cool, and animation was cool. It just didn't quite work. So
yeah, bummer,
whatever.
Man.
Yeah, but I would recommend it to people who who are really into anime. I like I said, not quite in that world, so maybe I just don't understand as much. But anyway, another film another one I blind bought, but this one I bought digitally on iTunes. It was cheap on there, so I went, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. I was super sick at home, and I was like, I saw that it was on there. I was like, I've been dying to watch this. I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah.
And that's Columbus. It's a 2017 movie.
Uh-huh.
And let me just look up the director real quick, because I do want to mention him. It's by Kogonada. He hasn't. This is his first, I believe, first full length feature film. He's done a lot of like shorts and like, advertisement and short films and stuff. But it's like his first real big indie film.
Yeah, I was curious about this one.
Yeah, it stars John Cho and Haley Lou Richardson. She's been in a few like little movies like John Cho, right?
Yeah.
But Haley's was in Split. She had a big part in Split and Edge of 17.
Oh, okay.
And I really like this movie.
Yeah, it was great.
It's a great movie, man. Just absolutely gorgeous film.
It looked like it was very pretty from the trailers and stuff.
It's just all about real slow pacing, just taking its time. It's almost like a meditation film of just you just breathe in these beautiful wide shots of nature and architecture, and they just have these conversations about their lives and what architecture means to them. It's like a love letter to architecture, really. Yeah. And how this older man loses his father, who's a famous architect, and this young girl who is stuck at home taking care of her mom has this great affinity and love for architecture, but she is basically forced to stay home and is not feeding upon her own passions. And John Cho, who plays the older man, kind of helps her realize maybe you should follow your own passions. And she finds these flaws in him too. And it's just like a really good, like quiet, like perfect little Sunday morning movie.
Nice.
You kind of like get up in the morning, pop that in. Perfect for that. I really love this movie. You should definitely check it out. You can rent it or buy it on iTunes or Amazon. It's also in select theaters. So,
nice. I think I'd
check it out.
I might have missed it in Chicago. I saw when it was playing. I thought about
it was in Chicago recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it, man. I wanted to see it for a long time, and it did not disappoint me at all. So,
nice.
Just a gorgeous pretty little film.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, I also watched the Exorcist 3.
Woo! Oh yeah. What'd you think, bud?
Oh, yeah. And of course, we talked about this last episode, but got that Exorcist collection.
Oh yeah.
Bought that Blu-ray set. So glad I did. Popped in the Exorcist 3. Real good, man. I loved it.
It's great, right?
It's so good. Way better than the second one. And it's a better sequel, in my opinion, because it really ties in directly to the first one.
Yeah. It's nice. And it's interesting because it wasn't necessarily supposed to.
Yeah. Exactly.
But they under the constraints of making it work as a sequel, it works surprisingly well, for something that's different.
It's a standalone as well as a complete sequel.
Yeah.
Some of those appearances I didn't expect at all.
Mm-hmm.
And just like a real good, great sequel to like what's considered one of the scariest films of all time. I wouldn't say this one was quite as on that level.
Yeah,
but it had some like real good jump scares.
Oh yeah, the nurse in the hospital.
The nurse.
That's the best hospital.
One. It's the best scare. Yeah, it's the best scare in the whole movie.
How good is Brad Dourif too?
So good.
Yeah, Brad Dourif.
So good.
It's
I didn't know he was in it, and he was awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the dream scene?
Oh, I thought that was interesting. I don't know. I feel like I liked it. I don't know.
I love how fucking weird that is. It's so weird.
It's super weird and like unexpected, but I'm totally fine with it.
I think it's an interesting concept to like. It's like one of the coolest like celebrity cameo scenes that I've seen. because it makes complete sense. Because like that happens in your dreams, you know. And for that dream, it's like Fabio and like Samuel L. Jackson and like all.
Yeah, I love that Fabio was in it.
All these like weird people that like you would randomly recall
in your head.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
It's really interesting. I thought that was really cool.
It was an effective dream. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Brad Dourif was amazing.
He's great.
And George C. Scott was great.
Totally. He's definitely getting old in it. You can tell.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
he's old.
Like when they get the call and they have to rush to his house because the nurse is there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, we gotta go right now! And then like, ah!
He's like,
an old man like moving really slow. He's like, move it! He's like,
oh, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a great movie though.
And having the guy from the first movie come back.
Yeah, the priest.
The priest. What's his name? Do you know his name?
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. But the main priest guy, the young one who was the boxer, come in. So good.
It's awesome.
And I like the set in the prison room. Mm-hmm. Like the cell that kind of like breaks apart. Yeah. And like then he's like forced up on the wall and like.
And there's all that crazy shit coming out of the floor and like.
Yeah, there's people like crawling out. Like they looked good. It was
also that
spooky.
Scene with the old lady crawling on the ceiling.
Okay, yeah, that's one of the best parts.
Yeah,
in my opinion, like
because
like that's freaky, man.
Yeah, and I think it's all sold with the sound design, because like most other movies would have like, you know, like a weird like creepy sound and and then like, you know. But it's just like dead quiet, and you just go
dead quiet.
You just like hear like faint,
and
rustling.
It's even better because it's behind a pane of glass.
Yeah,
it's like you're in that glass office looking out, and so you wouldn't really hear anything anyway. But these people in the other room don't even notice like this woman crawling, like gravity doesn't exist. Just on the ceiling. Yeah, there's really spooky.
There's some very effective. Like unsettling imagery for sure.
Like that was probably really hard to shoot too.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially because it's like going through the glass. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to like shoot it, then you cut it and then like reverse it and then place it on top. But like you have that room in the glass door and everything to go through. Like how did they? I don't know.
It's not a standard put your thing down, flip and reverse it. You know,
exactly.
It's quite a lot more.
No, it's very effective, and yeah, that's super impressive. So yeah, Exorcist 3, real good. Have you watched any of the other ones past that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I've heard they're all poopy, but
yeah,
maybe I'd be curious to watch them.
Yeah, I have the collection, so I feel like I should just like watch them.
Yeah, totally. Slam right through, bud.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Exorcist 3. Real good to wrap it up with the Halloween era there. Mm-hmm. Another movie I watched, this was free on Amazon Prime, and I was like, I'll just watch it. I was sort of half watching it, but then I ended up watching the whole thing.
Got sucked in?
Well, Passengers.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say I got sucked in. This was a movie from last year, starring Jennifer Lawrence and handsome boy. What's his name?
Chrissy Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Chrissy P. Rat.
This movie's not good.
I've heard it. I've heard it was shit.
Yeah, I just thought I'd talk about it simply because of the shock value of how absurd and kind of fucked up this movie is. Yeah. It's actually pretty fucked up.
How's it fucked up?
All right, spoilers for Passengers.
Yeah.
Do you want to get spoiled?
Lay it on me. I don't give a shit.
I'm going to lay it down. Okay. This movie's fucking batshit crazy. So you find out... Well, the trailers kind of sell you on this idea that, like, oh, these two passengers woke up on this space flight, right? Mm-hmm. They're colonizing another world. They're on this flight for like hundreds of years, and they woke up at the wrong time. Okay. This happens to Chris Pratt. He's the only one that wakes up. This like solar flare disrupts the ship, and he's forced to wake up, and he's the only one. He's the only one that's alive or awake for a year. And then he sees, amongst all the other sleeping people, Jennifer Lawrence and becomes obsessed with her. Mm-hmm. He decides to wake her up so she is forced to live with him for the rest of the journey. And there's only 100 years left in this trip. Uh-huh. So basically he's waking her up and she has to die.
Yeah.
To live with him, basically. Yeah. So it's fucked up when you think about it, because it's like,
is this something that's set up? Like it starts and Chris Pratt's like, I just want to fucking wake her up. Or is it like a thing where she wakes up and then you slowly find out that he's like a creep?
He does fight with it. He does like, oh, I don't know if I should.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I should. But it's like, he's only by himself a year. I feel like it's not, they should have gone crazier. Like, yeah. He's been awake for like 10 years. Then at that point, it's like, you're, as a human being who's been alone for 10 years on the ship full of possible human interaction.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm going to, then you get desperate.
Totally.
1 year, I feel it's too early. Like, especially since it's a luxury ship, he has access to do anything he wants. He can play any movie he wants. He can eat any food that he wants. He can drink however much he wants at the bar. Mm-hmm. There's no one around. So I don't know. 1 year was too much. And it just felt creepy in retrospect because it's kind of played off as like this, they just fall in love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. It seems pretty like calculated.
Yeah, it's pretty calculated. And that's what's just pretty weird and kind of forced.
Yeah.
Anyway, it wasn't that great. It's supposed to be a sci-fi movie. It doesn't elevate the sci-fi genre in any way. Provides no more new insight. It's just two very attractive people falling in love in space. And
fair enough.
Very generic.
Mm-hmm. It's a weird period, because that other movie came out that looked like a weirdly generic. Life, was that it?
Yeah, Life. Since you brought it up, I might as well just say I watched that too.
Oh, really?
I did watch that too. It was also on Amazon Prime. That one I actually kind of enjoyed.
Yeah, it was good?
It was actually pretty... It was good. It was good.
Nice.
It was better than I expected. It has some real good moments. It's just like... It's a classic kind of alien type film. Alien escapes, tries to kill everyone on board, and people survive.
Yeah.
There's a twist ending. I won't give it away, but the alien design was pretty cool, and it went in some unexpected directions that I didn't expect. I think that went against the grain of some of those films. So definitely had some straight homages to Gravity and Alien, of course.
Yeah.
And some other like sci-fi movies, it kind of like paid tribute in a certain way to those.
I gotcha.
So I would recommend Life to you. Yeah? I would recommend Life.
It's on Prime?
It's on Prime.
All right. Hell yeah.
So you want to just watch like a little space alien horror type?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Cool. Hell yeah.
I would never buy it, but if it's free, check it out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it for me.
Sweet.
That's the end of our watch lists. But before we get into our review, I'll just mention a little offer that we have for our listeners there, Zach.
Oh, yeah? What kind of offer is it, Wes? Can you tell me more?
Yeah, well, since you ask, the listeners of the Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast, you guys, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. This is great because you get a free audiobook if you sign up for their free 30-day trial. You can cancel at any time, and It's free. I mean, come on.
Wow, Wes.
I mean,
free? That's a good deal.
It is.
No, totally.
You get a free audiobook.
Yeah. I'm just hamming it up to be a goof, but it's actually a pretty good deal.
It's a pretty good deal. So to download your free audiobook, you just go to audibletrial.com/LTURAM. And again, that's audibletrial.com/LTURAM for your free audiobook. This is great. So let's move on to our in-depth review of Thor Ragnarok, starting right now.
So much has happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer, like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh. And then I went on a journey of self-discovery, where I met you.
Thor Ragnarok. This is the next movie by Marvel Studios. It's directed by Taika Waititi, and which is one of the reasons I'm super excited about this movie. And just to give a little brief synopsis from IMDb, imprisoned, the almighty Thor finds himself in a lethal gladiatorial contest against the Hulk, his former ally. Thor must fight for survival and race against time to prevent the all-powerful Hela from destroying his home in the Asgardian civilization. This movie's doing pretty well in theaters, and it's making good money. It's got raving critical reviews, and it's on second week of running here. So, yeah. Let's get back to Zach. You're saying you don't remember quite the beginning because you were running late, right?
Yeah, I showed up and I definitely saw, I saw the title card. I saw quite a bit before the title card. I walk in and Thor is tied up, hanging sideways, and he's starting a conversation with the big demon boy.
Okay, well that's the first scene, so.
Yeah, so I only missed maybe a couple shots or something, right?
Yeah, basically he starts off by saying he's talking to the little doll in the little in his little cage. There's this little hay doll. Basically, he's talking to the audience though. He's saying, "Hey, long story short, I kind of fought some guys." He's talking about the other movies, the previous Marvel movies. How he got here. He's like, "Yeah, now I'm in space. I went to go on the self-discovery journey. Now I don't have my hammer, blah, blah, blah." And then the demon guy kind of opens up his cage and he falls out and he's wrapped up in chains and kind of spinning around.
Okay.
And he has to fight the demon guy. So that's the first scene.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it seemed like I definitely got there towards the beginning of that conversation. I don't exactly remember what the dialogue was, but they established a lot, and I was like, okay, I don't think I missed very much. And then I saw the title card, and I was like, okay, I definitely didn't miss that much.
No, I don't think you did. I don't think you missed much at all.
It drives me fucking nuts coming into a movie late and just not knowing what I missed. Even if I miss, too. Even if I walk in and it's the first shot, but I don't know that it is, it'll drive me crazy for at least 20 minutes. Just being like, oh my god, what's that? Is that a mystery? Is that information I should know? Fuck.
I've missed so much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I've missed absolutely nothing.
No, I get it. That's one of my pet peeves going to movies. I hate when that happens. But yeah, you're fine. You didn't miss anything. But what are your general thoughts? We're gonna do a separate spoiler segment. So just general thoughts on Thor Ragnarok.
I thought it was fun. I liked it. I definitely think in terms of this set of heroes, it's definitely the most different out of the Marvel movies, and that's much appreciated. I think it looks better than most of them too. I think Guardians looks good, but a lot of the other ones, I feel to me just look a little bland. and I thought this, like, the visuals in this were really cool. I do think it kind of there's some stuff in it that I felt was kind of obligatory because it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
and we can get into that more in spoilers and stuff, but there are a few things that I didn't care for, but also I'm not, like, the biggest fan of the properties, so I can understand where someone who would, like, you know, I understand why it's there. Essentially, it's just like I don't know if it needed it.
Gotcha.
And I think my major complaints would be that I thought it was just a touch too long. I think it could be a little more simple, and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's really it.
Okay.
What'd you think?
I love this movie. I thought it was great.
Nice.
I think it's one of my favorite Marvel Studio films, actually.
I think it's one of their best ones for sure.
Yeah, it's just I had so much fun watching this movie. I just think I think they're finally getting, like, hey, we can do different genres. We can do different things. And they just went, I think Taika Waititi's, like, the perfect director who kind of, like, took this and they let him, like, do his thing. Like, he was able to take this movie and this huge, big budget movie and put it to his style of just, like, kind of wacky New Zealand kind of humor and just going balls to the wall insane on the entire thing, you know? Like, making it almost like almost like a Flash Gordon, like, crazy.
Yeah, I can definitely see the influence there.
Yeah, just kind of like this insane space comedy, which I really, really enjoyed. Way more than I thought I would. In fact, I think I like it more than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, I know it's almost heresy to say, but I think it takes it to the next level, and I just love how fun and just hilarious everyone was. Like, Chris Hemsworth he's actually funny. Like, he's actually a funny guy.
He's pretty good in it, yeah.
And it makes me so angry that someone so attractive and physically perfect can be also so talented and funny. Fuck you. But yeah, he was great. I thought everyone was good in it, and one of my favorite characters was played by the director himself, like the rock golem guy.
Korg, right?
Korg, yeah. He was awesome.
Just remembered it because of the synth company Korg.
Yeah. Yeah. What else things I liked is I like how it kind of pushes the narrative, but it's not really, like, held prisoner by it. It kind of does its own thing, its own standalone thing, but it has some tie-in plot lines, which is what Marvel comic books do. Like, if you read Marvel comic book, it's a Marvel comic book. So I like that, but also one of the biggest things I thought were just great too was thought the music was great.
Yeah, it was cool.
I just very surprised by kind of like the 80s synth score and kind of the whole art direction of the whole thing. I thought was pretty fantastic.
I'm just more surprised that, like, they were cool with doing this with the third Thor. Like, did they realize that the Thor movies were just kind of... I guess I never saw Thor 2, so this might be an unfair statement. But that they're just kind of duddy. Like, it seems like out of all the Marvel movies everyone talks about, no one talks about the Thor movies. They're kind of duds, right?
Yeah, they're kind of they're the worst ones. Thor Dark World, the second Thor, is the second to worst movie next to Iron Man 2, in my opinion.
Iron Man 2 is garbage.
It's shit. It's absolute shit.
Yeah.
And this is the second to worst, in my opinion. Dark World is. And that's just not because it's, like, shit like Iron Man 2 is. It's just, like, so dull and just bland and, like...
Takes itself way too seriously.
Way too seriously.
That's the problem I had with
forgettable.
The first one, at least. It was like,
yeah.
Okay, so we have this goofy space guy. I mean, I guess he's not that goofy, but, like, okay, so we got, like, a big buff boy from space with a hammer, and, like, this is how serious they're like presenting this. Like at least
Yeah.
in the other ones, they have like a bit of a sense of humor about them. You know what I mean?
He in the first one, there was a little sense, there was like a hint of humor that like, he's like this Norse god, and he throws down the drink even in that movie and goes, "I'll have another," you know.
Yeah.
But like this is just taking it to, it just breathes some fresh air into the franchise, and brings Thor into like this whole other level, where it's just like, this is where he should have been this whole time. It's just like, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. Like, it's such a silly concept to begin with, and the fact that it knows that and just like goes with it, it's so good. It works.
Yeah,
It's
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just a lot of good fun. So yeah, those are just kind of like my general thoughts. I just I honestly can't wait to see it again. I'm more of a Marvel fan than you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, but no, I'm glad that you at least liked it and enjoyed it. I think it's just a real fun movie.
Yeah, it's like I appreciate them, and I don't mean to sound like a dick, but just like trying. Like it's like
for sure.
They're actively trying to like do something different, which is refreshing.
Well,
it's like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. With the Star Wars thing, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna try and we're gonna make all these all new stories and all these spin-offs that are totally different, but actually they're just gonna be the same shit. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
And like I feel like I guess Ant-Man didn't really like work out, but I feel like not necessarily in the crazy space way, but the comedic aspect, it seems like that was supposed to be Ant-Man, and it was kind of like, hey, this is going to be like the one that's kind of different, and then it's like, oh, no, it's not? Okay. You know? Yeah. And like, oh, this will be the one that's different. It's like, oh, no, okay. And it's like, it's okay that like they want them all to mix, because they do that super well. Like the melding of all the stories and tying everything in, like I'm not trying to discount how well that they do that for fans of the series, but
I mean, that's unprecedented. It's never been done.
It's nice that it seems like they took a little more of a chance with this one, and that it's paying off, and hopefully that can set a precedent for what they do in the future. And especially like, because it's one thing to take a chance on something like Guardians, where they're bringing a new property. It's obviously an existing thing, but like bringing a new set of characters into the cinematic universe. Yeah, and like that's a chance, but I think it's a bigger chance. Yeah, and I think it's a bigger chance though to take something that already exists in two other forms, and then just like make it entirely different. You know? Yeah. And I think it is a little weird when you look at it as a trilogy, but also like, I don't know, if it's the best one, who cares? You know, like if it's way better than a shitty one, then sure. You know,
it's definitely like part of the Thor trilogy, but it's completely, I feel like, its own thing too. Because it's so unlike the other two.
Definitely.
I think that's what they finally realized, that they need to make these things different, or people are going to not come to these anymore because they're just boring and more of the same. And if you're not like a diehard Marvel fan, why try and keep up with these stories? Yeah. And I think Taika Waititi, I mean, I love Hunt for the Wilder People. I love What We Do in the Shadows. Like,
it's hysterical.
Just to let this guy freaking go balls to the wall on what he wants to do, you know? Mm-hmm. Good for them. And that's what happens when you let a small director, try to have his hand in the sandbox, you know? Yeah. Have him play in there, have his own thing. It's great. Yeah. It pays off, and it's been paying off when they do that. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. So, yeah, I thought it was awesome. And, the sets were really interesting, too. With, like, the bold colors. Kind of like the retro sci-fi look to it. I thought it was cool.
The production design was great, just in general. Lots of cool costumes, very weird, and definitely inspired by a lot of, you can pick little aspects of it here and there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I like the like weird like reoccurring like rainbow kind of aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like in the paintings on the walls and in the big like walkway thing, the bridge thing.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
What'd you think of Jeff Goldblum?
He was funny. I think it's a weird thing.
I thought
in
it
a
was
movie like
perfect
this.
for that.
Yeah.
I thought
He's great.
Everything he was in, I was just laughing my ass off.
Yeah, I think he fit really well. I do think some of the comedic beats, not necessarily from him, but just in general, felt a little out of place. I can't think of all of them, but like the shake weight joke, I wasn't specifically into.
No, I giggled.
Yeah. Like I get it. Like it's definitely like, you know, funny that like this guy would have this relic from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Jeff Goldblum was funny though. I like Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he's great. He played the Grandmaster. He kind of fit into that silly world.
Yeah,
very well.
I liked when he like played like they were like playing synths or whatever.
He played
like,
some music.
Yeah, like weird like sci-fi synths. Like I was
awesome.
into that.
And
like,
he's a musician too, which is
Jeff Goldblum.
yeah, he has a band.
What is it? Like what kind of music?
I think it's like a jazz band.
Okay, it'd be really funny if it was some like crazy, like weird experimental stuff.
I listened to this interview of him talking about it and how he just like, just him being Jeff Goldblum in this interview, just like, yeah. So I used the keyboard and I told Taika that I was going to play on the keyboard and he let me play this nice tune to it. You know how he talks.
Yeah.
It was really funny how he talked about how he experienced that scene. But some of the negative things, I thought some of the CG was a little weak.
Yeah.
Especially with Hela. Her fighting, I thought was like, I wasn't.
It was pretty CG.
I didn't like the CG. Yeah.
Also, a lot of just the compositing too of the green screen
compositing
stuff.
Yeah.
It was like every time anything happened, it was in an area where there was nothing around. But the
yes.
depth like didn't register. It was like almost like they picked locations because they would be easy to composite and animate, but then the depth didn't like play and it just felt really separated.
Yeah, honestly, the compositing's flat out embarrassing, bad. Like,
Yeah,
not good.
it's pretty bad.
Especially, I mean,
bad.
come on, this is Marvel, this is Disney. Like,
It's like they got the fucking money to make that shit look good.
It's embarrassing, honestly. Some of this stuff, just not excusable. So yeah, those are some of the big negatives. Like when they're in the field in Scotland or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Very bad.
Yeah, like you can see the feathering around Thor and everything.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that was not good stuff. Another negative thing I wasn't crazy about is, I just wish that Hela had more development.
Yeah, she didn't. I thought Cate Blanchett was good, but she just like didn't have anything to do except for be like,
Yeah.
I'm evil.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill everyone because I'm an evil person. Like,
yeah, exactly. She was. I liked her in her part, but yeah, she had no real motivation other than, I'm back and I'm gonna take everything over. You know.
Yeah, it's like I'm already evil, so I'm the bad guy, and I'm here, so like now bad stuff happens because I'm just like bad.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of poor character development there, but and one more thing about the CG too was some of the stuff with Hulk when he's like in the room kind of talking with Thor, I thought was a little weak too. Like it didn't feel like he was fully completed or something. Like his skin looked weird when he was just like walking around.
You could tell. To me, I thought it was like, did they come up with some like new like algorithm or process of like body hair? because he had so much weird body hair. Like his chest hair was like so pronounced. Do you notice this?
I didn't notice anything about the hair really. Maybe that's one thing that was off. Yeah.
Maybe it was. I don't know if it was something that was in the other movies too. But I was like, man, Hulk's got like a lot of like chest and back hair. It's just like very much like presented when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't realize it being a lot. But yeah, that's funny.
It just was like very pronounced in a weird way. Like it caught my attention. I was like, it's like all I could look at for a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway,
is bringing up any certain cameos a spoiler?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll hold back.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and any final thoughts on generic thoughts before we go to spoilers.
I thought it looked nice. There were definitely some striking compositions in there that it would cut to every now and again that were cool. And I definitely liked it. I do think it fell into some pitfalls of just like tropes of the genre, but like I don't know. I mean, it's pretty different than what I've seen in that genre, so I guess I can't blame it too much because at least it's trying. Yeah. And I think that's the most admirable thing to me is that whether it's like a super good movie or not, at least it's trying. You know what I mean? It's not just like making something that's exactly like the other fucking 10 thing. You know what I mean? It's at least different, and that's appreciated. I like the performances, the score. I will say that I thought the score was mixed too low. For me, I thought
it was mixed a little too low. I agree with you. There's some moments where it like really came in with like the synth. I was like, "Come on, blast that shit!" You know?
Yeah, it was like it felt like it was going really big, but like there were moments of like spaceships landing or like establishing shots where it's just like almost like the presence track was like louder than the music. It was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like watching. I'm listening to this like crazy big like synth score, and the sound of like an engine is louder. Like, what the fuck is that? Who cares about the engine? I don't give a shit. I've heard one.
Yeah,
you know,
the mix was a little off. This. Yeah.
So I will say that I think it would have been more effective if the score was louder, and they just kind of like let that play a little bit more up front.
Agreed.
But yeah, I would say, I guess we'll get into it more in spoilers, but for me, I think the biggest complaints were just the tying of the Marvel universe, but that's coming from someone who, like, you know, isn't as invested in the universe, so I totally understand if people who are, like, want that, you know.
Fair enough. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into our spoilers for Thor Ragnarok. Starting right now.
Sick, dude.
We're the same, you and I. Just a couple of hot-headed fools.
Yeah, same. Hulk like fire, Thor like water.
Well, kind of both like fire.
But Hulk like raging fire, Thor like smoldering fire.
All right, so we're in spoilers now. It is free range. What do you think about that Matt Damon cameo?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was pretty funny, man.
It was pretty funny.
He just like loves making little cameos and everything now.
Yeah, totally. It was fucking weird for sure. It kind of took me a second back a little bit. And also I guess I was also a little distracted because I didn't realize that was Liam Hemsworth, right?
Yeah, so that's his brother, his lesser-known brother.
Didn't know that he
I didn't either until the end. I was like, he's got to be someone, right?
So, like, I was like, okay, this is clearly Cameo City right now. Like, who's that?
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Is that Charlie Hunnam? Is that Charlie Hunnam? Like, no.
That would have been great.
So. But, love Sam Neill, though.
Oh, so good.
Honestly, it was a little disappointed he didn't have a bigger role. Let's get fucking Sam Neill.
I know, right?
Swap. I don't give a shit. Sam Neill as Carl Urban. Sam Neill as
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
anyone who has the most screen time. Sam Neill as Thor. Let's get that movie going.
Well, it kind of makes sense too, because he was in Hunt for the Wilder People.
Totally. I also liked the casting of the woman from Child Services from Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yeah,
she was in it, which was cool, and I thought
she had a big part.
That dynamic was funny of like the jealousy of the assistant versus that person.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Mainly just like glad that she was in it. I like her. I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
He's sneaking people in that aren't like,
Yeah. He's for one sneaking in people of color, you know. He's sneaking in just like in women too. Like that's a great part for her. Good for her. And also, I don't think it would have happened with any other director to have Valkyrie played by Tessa Thompson. I thought she was pretty good.
Yeah, she was good.
I thought she did a good job.
Isn't there something about her being like the first openly gay character in the universe or something?
No, I don't think that's her character. I think that's it's something about Cate Blanchett's character.
Cate Blanchett.
I think she's just an LGBTQ member. Not sure what her.
I heard something about that, and then I saw the movie, and I was like, did I miss it? I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be
referenced at all. Like,
I think it's supposed to be Cate Blanchett, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We have to
Seems
look
like
more
it
into
didn't make the cut, whatever it was. So.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I have no idea. What were we talking about before that?
Tessa Thompson, is that her name?
Tessa Thompson. Yeah, I thought she was good. And I thought, like, kind of the dynamics. I liked seeing kind of Bruce Banner come down as a person again, you know, and be played by Mark Ruffalo. Yeah. And just, like, have him interact. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Totally. I thought the scene where he became a human again, though, was really weird. Like, it played...
Yeah?
It didn't necessarily feel organic to me. It just felt very, like... Well, now we're stuck on... But it's like, okay, well, now we're stuck here because Hulk randomly ran in here and just broke everything. And then, you know what I mean? Like he was in the ship, like, about to take off, and then he's just, like, randomly slamming into stuff. And I get that they bring back the transmission because that was in the Avengers, right? The ship thing?
Yeah, well, the ship, yeah.
Is that the one? Is it in the Avengers where he
that's the jet that Hulk flies in from, or flies away from in the second Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I appreciate their dedication.
The Quinjet.
Their dedication to that payoff. Because, like, when did that movie come out? The Avengers one.
Several years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what, like 3 years ago? 4 years
like
ago?
3 years ago, I'd say.
It's, yeah, it's like, all right. Like,
yeah, it had a payoff.
Still,
because he wasn't, him and Thor weren't in Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, they even...
Ship.
Yeah, exactly. So it all ties in. All makes sense.
Shit. I feel like I had something. I lost it, though.
I'm assuming that your tie-in thing that you weren't crazy about, you're referring to Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I gotta be honest that I just, like, fucking did not like that at all.
No?
Like, yeah, I don't know. It just felt like... okay, here's a scene with another Marvel character. There you go. Like, it didn't feel justified to be in the movie for me. And even beforehand, when they're, like, in New York, I was like, okay, so is this the scene where they're gonna bring in another Marvel person? It was like, yep. You know?
Yeah.
Not that, like, necessarily, like, that either of them was, like, bad in it. But
no, I get you.
It just felt like they, like, segued the whole movie for 10 minutes to have this scene with Doctor Strange where
Definitely.
Doctor Strange really didn't do anything. Nothing really happened for either of them that couldn't have happened without that scene. It's like in this fantasy world
Well,
like,
he gave them something that they needed, right? Like he.
Well,
gave
yeah,
them...
he finds their father for him.
Yeah.
But like in this fantasy world where people like telepathically communicate, and there's like people are fast traveling to planets, it seems like they could have just like channeled in and like found him in some weird like ethereal way. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it didn't necessarily need to be that. Like I mean, him and Idris Elba later in the movie are doing like the weird telepathic thing, and I don't know if that's something specific to those characters from the book that's like their powers rooted in something. I don't know. But
I don't know. I think that was just made up for the movie.
Yeah, it just seems like they could have just, I don't know, like found him some other way that wasn't a weird cameo just because Doctor Strange is in anything else. You know what I mean?
I get you. It's definitely a little shoehorned in there, but I don't know. As a guy who just likes Marvel, I ate it up.
I get it. You know, it's like I get the bridging over.
It's just
like for fans,
as someone who's like read a decent amount of comics. That's what Doctor Strange is like. That's what I want to see as Doctor Strange. Like, I didn't want to see a whole movie about him. Like him with little cameos like that. That's like what Doctor Strange is supposed to be. He kind of just like shows up in like random moments and like provides like something that the characters need. So I think that's kind of like where they're coming from, is like trying to fill in that part of the comic books of they've already established his character now. So now he can kind of show up and kind of be this guidant force for the more mystical parts of the Marvel world, just kind of like provide things that they need and then disappear. Like, that's kind of what Doctor Strange is supposed to be. So in that sense, I liked it, but I get it totally. Like, as its own movie, it's totally shoehorned in there. I mean,
it's just like
you don't see anything.
Track.
You don't see them go to New York or anything like that in the whole movie, other than that. So it's like, clearly it's just meant for the cameo.
And also, it's a weird thing of like, okay, so a portal shows up, Loki falls into a portal, and then there's a dress, and then he shows up at the address, and then they talk, and it's like, I don't know why they just like make 2 portals or like 1, and then they just both go. Little things like that I'm like,
because that'd be too easy, Zach.
Yeah, but like that, I don't know. It's just a weird thing that's completely constructed for like,
of course,
the building of it, Which I guess, I don't know. Movies do that shit all the time, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think about it, but maybe I'm just hyper aware because of this, of like
it's
the weird scenario.
At least it was entertaining the whole time. Like, they had some little funny moments, and so he's like, I've been following for 5 minutes, or he's like, I've been following for like 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. Sounds good, honestly. Just free falling. 30 minutes. I'm into it.
Just, that sounds terrifying. I'm not. I'm
totally.
Not
I'm out.
Yeah. So, what other kind of spoiler things can we talk about?
What can we talk about?
I thought Carl Urban's character, I'm curious, like, I guess they're like trying to set him up for something else, but like, he kind of just like got really lucky and then got away with it. Like, he got really lucky,
he was weird.
Ended up playing like the sidekick, and then just like got away with it, which is, it was kind of weird.
I don't know how much I was into him. I felt like he was kind of didn't seem to fit really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked everything that like past like the midpoint. Everything with like Thor, Tessa Thompson, and Mark Ruffalo, I thought was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like the spaceship battle, like trying to escape and go into Satan's butthole or whatever it is. What it was called?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I saw it. But
Devil's Anus?
Yeah, Devil's Anus. Yeah. Just,
which is nice to have in there.
It's funny. It's just more evidence. Like, they don't take itself. It doesn't take itself seriously. It just just trying to have fun. And in the end, that's like, I guess for the most part, why we try and go see movies, right? Is like to be entertained. So,
for me though, I will say that I could, like I was saying before, I could have done with it being shorter, and I think just generally I preferred all the stuff on like the weird trash planet more than the rest of the movie.
Oh, the trash planet was great. I'm glad you brought that up.
To me, it would have been cool if it was just, I want a Marvel movie where like I understand that this is like a big, it's clearly like a big story in the comics, right? This Ragnarok thing and this character.
Well, it's a mixture of a bunch of different stories, actually.
Yeah. Which
like
makes
Ragnarok
sense.
is one thing, and the Hulk storyline of him being a gladiator is a whole other thing. Yeah.
Which, for me, I think I would have liked the movie more if it just picked one of those things.
Sure.
Like, and I mean, we've talked about this before. I don't remember what specifically what movie, but just like all of these movies, like the fate of everything is hinging on them, and it's like I gotta save this whole planet. You know what I mean? Like my whole homeworld, and it's like that. But then there's also this like middle section where he's fighting Hulk, and it's this like weird, goofy trash planet, and I think they made it work. But it also felt like two ideas or two storylines that were interspersed with each other that they made work. And I think I just would have preferred it if it was either one, but preferably the trash planet, you know?
It makes sense in kind of how, if you're going to continue this multi-cinematic universe where these characters were, what are you going to do with them? Well, you can combine these stories and kind of, you know, have them have a combined quest together. And, but I think we've talked about big scale, small scale before. But I'm usually for small scale, but I think this one was entertaining enough to where it worked. And also it allows them to just completely get rid of Asgard. Now you don't have to worry about Thor going back and forth between Earth and doing whatever shit he's doing. Mm-hmm. Now he's forced to come back and like be on Earth, and they're all together, clearly setting it up for the next Avengers movie.
100%.
So I see their perspective. I see what they're going for.
Yeah.
Like you got to think of it as this ever expanding universe that they're like
which
building.
Is the thing, I think. And like,
you know,
and I'm not faulting them for thinking that way, because clearly that's the whole construction of these. Yeah. But I just think that doesn't lend itself to being the best singular movie, because like as someone who doesn't necessarily know all the storylines of all the different movies, or like, you know, where they're sourced from, it's like, it just feels like almost a third to half the movie is like in service of other movies, when it's like, well, I'm here watching this one. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I get it.
And that's not a negative, because I mean, it's a negative on perspective, but it's not necessarily like a definitive negative, because I mean, the whole point of these is to build an interconnected universe and keep it going.
That's the whole point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
but maybe you're not.
I'm an outsider on this, so.
But maybe you're just not into that. Maybe you're just not. You don't want that. Maybe you're part of the audience who just like wants to see one movie, not not a continuing series.
Yeah, and it's like, I just.
That's what's interesting about these movies, right? Is like, these are not just. That's why this one is like interesting too, because it's more of a standalone, because it's its own kind of genre and everything. But it's also, every Marvel Studios movie that comes out is a sequel. It's a sequel.
Yeah, it was just crazy. There's what, two
it's
every year?
On 3.
3, damn.
There's 3 now. There's 3 every year, so it's ongoing sequels of the same every year.
What was this year? Guardians 2, Thor, what else?
Guardians 2, Thor, and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that was more tied into Civil War, which it's a pretty great movie. You got to go see it. Yeah. And then next year we have Black Panther. Nice. That's going to be more standalone. That's because it's his origin story, kind of. It's Wakanda. It's kind of shut off from everything, so that's going to be standalone. Wakanda. So we have Black Panther. We have Avengers: Infinity War. After that, that's going to have literally every character in it. It's going to be nuts. I don't know how they're going to pull that off.
What is that movie going to be? Like 10-minute segments of every character popping in, and it's like, now we got to go see this guy because we need this one item to like put on this other item that'll like unlock this other item. You know, like
it's gonna be nuts. It's every character, That's
fucking crazy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No fucking idea how the hell they're gonna make a coherent movie out of that.
Well, it's the same guys that made Civil War, and I didn't think that would work. And that did work, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But that was also based on... That was like two characters and people choosing sides.
Yeah.
And it's also not incorporating like a space raccoon. You know, like all these other shit.
Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in Avengers Infinity War.
Or like the Hulk. Like he... Also... I don't know. Is this just a thing that Mark Ruffalo just like says no? Like, why isn't there a fucking Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo?
He wants to do it. They just won't make one.
They won't make one?
No,
because what the fuck is wrong with them?
Because the past several ones that they've made have all failed. But I think bullshit. I think it could pass with Marvel Studios and Mark Ruffalo in the role.
It just seems like you're not doing one because the other ones are bad. Like. What? Like, what's that logic? You know what I mean?
I think they should do it.
Yeah, I agree. The other ones are bad. But also, it's like, I don't know, every single character in all these movies has their own movie, and then just, like, Hulk is just kind of residually in them. Like, that's weird.
Also, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow.
Yeah, where's the Black Widow movie?
A lot of fans want it. They just won't make it. Yeah.
That seems like an opportunity to make something that's different and smaller scale.
You can make it more... Well, they kind of do like a spy thriller type with Captain America 2, which is like my favorite. It's true,
but it's very big. Like if you go even smaller.
Even smaller. I mean, that it's small scale in terms of Marvel, but yeah.
Yeah.
It still has like repercussions, so big worldly repercussions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What else?
But this is what I was gonna say too. Is like not only are they gonna have all the main characters in Avengers: Infinity War, they're gonna have a bunch of side characters too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You have a bunch of side characters from all these stories, like some people from Guardians of the Galaxy that are in there. You have like Colby Smulders, who's Maria Hill. She's one of the SHIELD agents.
Everyone's clamoring for Colby Smulders to be that big. What about Clark Gregg? Is he coming back? Oh man,
We don't know.
He's my favorite. Clark Gregg. I just want him to come back so bad.
Me too. Yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. Benicio del Toro as the Collector is gonna be.
Oh yeah, Benicio.
Dude, you got Benedict Wong as Wong. He was in the Doctor Strange. He's like the side character. It's like, what? It's nuts.
It's crazy.
And Josh Brolin is Thanos, who's the big bad guy.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck is that? I just have no idea what that movie's gonna be like.
It's gonna be
like 200 people punching each other in like one huge battle for an hour and a half. Like what the hell is that gonna be? I have no idea.
It's crazy. That's why they're breaking it up into 2 movies.
Yeah.
Although we don't know what the second one's called, because apparently the title of the second one is in itself a spoiler of Avengers: Infinity War. Yeah.
Well then, doesn't that just make it 4 though? Like, is it gonna be next? Like, is it Avengers Infinity War, Avengers this, next Marvel movie? Or is it Avengers Infinity War, standalone, Avengers 4?
No, it's going to be standalones in between.
So, how is that? It doesn't seem like that's a part 2 then. It just seems like that's a whole other
Well,
movie
that's
now.
why they're making that. That's why they're not calling it part 2 or anything.
Okay.
They were doing part 1, part 2, but now it's like literally just another Avengers movie.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's like it to me. That's akin to the splitting the season of a TV show in half and calling it part 1 and part 2.
Yeah,
It's I don't know.
Game
It's
of
like
Thrones.
a year apart, just like every other season. It's just a fucking short season. Just be real with yourself.
You're
You
just
made
making
less.
too many seasons. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you just made less. Don't call it part 2. It's a whole fucking new season. Chill out. Shit drives me nuts.
It's funny. All right, well, you have any other final thoughts?
Let's think here.
Are we missing
Fun.
anything?
Taika Waititi was really funny as that one guy. Korg. I like that part a lot. And the bug guy with the knife hands is funny.
Yeah.
The score was mixed too low.
Bad CG.
Visuals were cool. Shit CG. Personally didn't like the universe tie-ins, but understand why they're there. Yeah, I don't know.
What do you rate it, Zach?
I'll give it a 3.5.
All right. I'll give it a 4.
Nice. Yeah, for a Marvel movie, it's definitely like it's probably the second best one that I've seen aside from
It's
the
up
first
there.
Guardians.
It's up there. It's so, and maybe you can catch it again to where you weren't in a rush to get there and also kind of getting sleepy.
Yeah,
But
definitely getting a little sleepy towards the end there. But
it's just a fun movie. Fun movie to watch.
yeah, it's like
Super entertaining. Just funny. It's better than most large studio films of its type, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like I can sit there and nitpick it all day, but at the end of the day, they're trying, and that's what matters. It's like the big movies that are just fucking boring because they're the same,
Yeah.
and just end up being like very bland looking, and those are the ones that bug me because they're not adding anything. You know what I mean? But like at least they flipped it up. They switched it a little bit. They're trying something. Marvel's trying something. It seems like. So it seems like it's a step in the right direction. Hopefully they get some weirder and more offshooty type stuff coming up. But
I agree. I hope that some of the standalones they can get even more widespread in different directions and genres that they should do.
Totally.
Let's just see some different genres. And
yeah.
like our next one, Black Panther in February. That's going to be like it's more sci-fi. It's a sci-fi movie.
Nice, that's cool.
So we'll see. Yeah, I give it a 4 because I really enjoyed the film. I thought very entertaining and building on everything that you said. And as just a Marvel fan, I was very satisfied to be surprised by this movie and to have such a good time. Be satisfied with some little tie-ins. Be like, pat myself on the back because I understand all the story that's going on. I'm like, I get that reference. And just a good time. Really wish that fix that little audio mix. You had a great score. Let it play out. I want to hear this shit. And fix your compositing because you're Disney and Marvel and it's no excuse for that.
No excuse. It's fucking garbage. Fix it.
Garbage. But somehow I still enjoy the movie despite that. I can overlook that. So that's saying something.
Yeah.
That is saying something. All right. That's going to wrap it up for our review of Thor Ragnarok. As always, you can find other episodes of this podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook or Twitter. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review on iTunes. Every rating brings us to more listeners, and it really does help. You can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. Thank you to our producer, Sean Pierce. You too can be a producer and or supporter of this podcast by visiting our Patreon page and becoming a monthly patron for as little as $1. Visit www.patreon.com/LTURAM podcast. That's going to do it for today. Zach, thanks for the talk. It was great. And
yeah, for sure, man.
Till next time.
Till next time, bye.